Good morning. Today's lesson is how to draw SpongeBob SquarePants. Woo! We will learn how to draw SpongeBob in an under the water scene. He will be standing on top of sand. We will draw his pineapple home. We will add a graphic design of a star. And also for the background, we will be using all cool colors. Our terms are composition, shading, and warm and cool colors. A composition is your entire drawing. It's how you put different subjects or different elements together to make up a full art piece, one finished art piece. It's also where you place them and how you place them all together. That's your composition. Shading is an art technique or coloring technique that we use to add depth, shadows, and dimension to our drawing. The concept of shading is to have one light source on one side, and on the opposite side you will have your shadows. For example, in our drawing today, the light source is going to be on the right side. So imagine that the sun is here on the right side, and it will be shining on anything that is on the right side as well. All the shadows are going to be on your opposite side, which is on the left. When coloring, you can use darker value of color to create the shading. For example, if you take a look at the door of the pineapple home here, I colored the entire door a light blue or sky blue. And then to create the shadows, I chose a darker value of blue or a navy blue to put it on the left side. Lastly, let's go over warm and cool colors. For warm colors, these are colors that make you feel warm. If you think about the daytime or the sun, these will be examples of warm colors. So reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, and different shades of browns will be your warm colors. Cool colors, on the other hand, are colors that make you feel cool. If you think about the nighttime or the night sky or dark colors, these are all cool colors. So examples of these are greens, different shades of greens, different shades of blues, purples, and also grays. So again, warm colors are bright colors or daytime colors. Cool colors are night colors or dull or dark colors. Alright, before we start drawing, let's go ahead and place our eraser guidelines on our paper. Step 1 is drawing our initial shape, which is a rectangle that is slightly diagonal and drawn with the first two lines being curved lines. So I'm going to first draw my first curved line using my guidelines to make sure that the placement of my initial shape is on the correct spot, as well as the sizing is the same as this. I'm gonna draw my second line here and connect those two with just straight lines. For the next step, I'm gonna draw a small diagonal line going down, and then on this end of this line, I'm gonna draw a small diagonal line going up. I will connect those two lines with a curved line. And then next I will draw these two shapes, which will be SpongeBob's pants. So for that, I'm just gonna draw two lines and a curved line on the bottom. And on the second shape right here, I want it in the middle of these lines. Okay, so I'm gonna draw two lines going down and then again connect that with a curved line. Alright, for the sleeves, for this line right here, I'm gonna quickly draw a very light line in the middle just to help me figure out where the middle part is. And our sleeve is gonna be slightly below the middle section. So for that, I'm just gonna draw diagonal lines right here for the sleeve. And then I'm gonna picture an imaginary line that goes to the other side. So I'll make sure that the two sleeves are in the same area. And on this spot, after my imaginary line, I'm going to draw an inverted U, okay? And I'm going to connect those two with a line. Now, this sleeve is going to be in front of the body, right? So it's overlapping, which means I will have to erase this line. Okay, and then I will draw a curved line in the middle there. Okay, for the legs, I'm just gonna draw 2 long lines for each leg. If you want them kind of diagonal, that's fine as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna close those off with a curved line on the bottom. For the boots are kind of like a bean shape. That's the initial shape. So I'm gonna draw a curved line, a bean shape right there. I'm gonna close it off with a line. And then I'm gonna add a mini heel. Some boots have heels. Okay, and then an oval on the top part. For the other boot, I'm gonna draw the same thing, but going the other way. So there's my bean shape. Gonna create the boot, the heel, sorry, and then I'm gonna draw an oval here on the top. You can actually already remove your eraser guidelines. So go ahead and wiggle your paper out of your desk to keep your desk nice and neat. Okay, my eraser guidelines are gone, and now I am getting ready to draw the arms of SpongeBob and the hands that say okay. All right, for this arm right here, I am going to draw a diagonal line going down, and then another diagonal line going this way, and I want his arm to look thick like his legs, so I'm gonna draw, just gonna follow along those directions, and I'm gonna draw a thicker line. Okay, and then for the second arm, it's gonna start from this line that we drew on the sleeve. So I'm gonna draw a diagonal line going down and then going up. I'm going to make that arm thicker. I think I made it a little bit too long here. If you need to make adjustments, that's okay. We're still in the sketching pencil stage. Okay, we did some overlap, so we need to erase this line right here. We will need to erase because the arm is in front of the sleeve. So remember, anytime we overlap, we need to do some erasing. Perfect. All right, and then now we can go ahead and draw SpongeBob's fingers. So first, I'm gonna draw a C shape. Okay, and then for the thumb, I'm gonna draw, I think it maybe imagine like a hot dog shape. Okay, and then for the pointer finger, I'm gonna draw a swirl. I'm gonna go ahead and give SpongeBob 2 more fingers. So for that, I'm gonna just draw like 2 long ovals, one, and then the second one is a little bit closer to this arm right here, and there you go. Now we're gonna start drawing SpongeBob's eyes, and for SpongeBob's eyes, they are ovals, not circles, so there's a difference. Ovals are this shape, circles are this shape. We want it to be an oval, not a circle. Okay, so first I'm gonna draw the left eye. Then the left eye is overlapping, so it's right next to each other. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw the nose. So for the nose, I would say that's like a hot dog shape. He kind of has a funny nose, and then it's overlapping, so I need to erase any line that's inside. Okay, for the outline of his shirt, I'm just gonna draw a little bit under the sleeve. I'm gonna draw lines all the way till here, and then on this section it will be diagonal a little bit. Okay, your line does not have to be perfect. I didn't even think about it when I did my squiggly lines. Okay, and I'm gonna draw the tie, which is right here in the middle. I'm gonna draw a half circle and then a long diamond for the tie. All right, our next step, let's add SpongeBob's eyelashes. So 3 on each eye, 1, 2, 3, and then on the other eye, 1, 2, 3. For the cheek, we're going to draw a letter C, and it's going to overlap the eye, which means another overlap. We're going to have to erase that line inside. Okay, we're giving SpongeBob a nice and big smile. And you know what? I didn't draw something here, but before we draw the smile, from the end of that nose, let's go ahead and draw a line. Okay, and then we're going to draw his big smile. So I'm going to draw a big U, connecting it to the cheek. We're going to start drawing the collars of the shirt. I'm going to draw diagonal line going down, and then going to be another diagonal a little bit longer. So it's kind of drawing like a V on each side for the collar. Okay. I'm going to draw a line all the way going this side, and again, any line that's here on this section right here is going to be diagonal. So diagonal going up because he's at an angle, so you can see the thickness of his body, or his sponge I should say. And then we're adding a pattern, a broken line pattern over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that here on the boot. The lines right here, these lines, I'm gonna go ahead and erase those just to make it look like the body of the boot is connected to the heel of the boot. So it's just one full shape. SpongeBob is coming together. So let's go ahead and add details inside the eyes. So I'm just drawing another oval inside each eye and a circle for the middle of the eye. Okay, I'm gonna add the 2 big teeth that SpongeBob is known for. And I'm gonna draw the tongue. So for that, I'm gonna draw a curved line going down right here on the bottom of the U. And I'm gonna draw another curved line all the way going down for the tongue. Okay, so for later, so I know which one to color. You know that line that we drew over here? I wanna make sure that it's going all the way to the cheek, so later on I'll know to color this area, and I'll just quickly color it with a pencil just so you guys can see. This area will be black, okay, because that's the inside of the mouth. And last step for SpongeBob is to make him look like a sponge. How do we do that? Well, we're gonna add the holes or random circles, random ovals all around to make him look like a sponge. Okay, so I'm gonna add an oval here, a circle here, oval there. It's not really perfect, it's kind of random circles and ovals here and there. Okay, let's start with the background. So first we're going to draw the horizon line. Horizon line is going to be here. So I'm going to draw a line here, imaginary line, continues here, imaginary line, and it continues here. Line it all the way from the left side to the right side. Okay. Then we're going to start drawing the body of the pineapple home. So for that, I'm going to start with a curved line first here on top. Okay. And then I'm going to draw another curved line here. If you have some space here, then you would have to do your imaginary line and then continue that curved line here on the bottom. Okay. Alright, and then for the leaves of the pineapple, I kind of want them to look kind of fanned out. Right, so first I'm going to draw the middle leaf. And here there's obviously one leaf, so I'm going to draw that. Okay, and then again I want it kind of fanned out. Alright, another leaf. And then the last leaf, I want to showcase the tip. okay? So it's kind of like a sharper end. Next thing, we are adding the door and the window of the pineapple home. So for the window, that's really easy. It's just a circle. And then I'm going to draw another circle inside so we can show a little bit of thickness on the window. Okay, and the door is curved. I'm going to draw my curved line. Okay, and it's going to be behind the arm. So this is going to be overlapping. This is the background. Okay, next tab, I'm adding some details on the window and the door. So you can either draw just dots, okay, to make it easy, or if you have a lot of space and you want to add a little bit more detail, you can draw little circles instead. I'm going to draw little circles for the details here as well. Okay, all the way going down. And then I'm going to draw another line just for another detail and layer for the door. And next step, we're going to add two lines here, a short one and a long one, diagonal lines, to make it look like that part of the window is glass. And then we're going to draw this wheel, which is the door of his cool pineapple home. We're going to draw a half circle. I'm just going to make it easy for us and draw 1, 2, like hot dog shapes for the handles. Okay, and then the next thing is that I added a design of a starfish or a star. I'm going to draw a curved line this way. I'm going to draw a curved line facing this way this time. Okay, it's not even perfect. And then the last one is facing the bottom. And in the middle, I'm just going to add a circle, or a circle, or you can make it an oval, either one. We're adding a little bit more details. If you want, you can add rocks here on the sand for some interest. You don't have to. And to add rocks, I'm just drawing, I would think there's probably like squished ovals for the rocks, and they're kind of random. They're not perfectly placed. Alright, and then we are also drawing these 3 bubbles. We're going to draw large, medium, and small right here on this section right here. So I'm going to draw a large circle. To the right, I'm going to draw a medium circle. And then on the left again, I'm going to draw a smaller circle. And lastly, for the pineapple home, we are adding a checkered pattern to make it look like a pineapple. So for that, they are diagonal lines that are put together. That's our pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can have a smaller checkered pattern if you want. I'm just keeping it kind of big. What I have in mind is I'm going to trace this too, so I'm making it a little bit easier for myself. Alright, and there you go. Alright, now we are ready to trace. So for tracing, we're going to trace everything that we drew with a pencil. We're going to create nice and neat, clean lines, trying our best to go right over the pencil marks. Okay? Nice and clean marks and no more sketching, meaning I'm going to use this to show you. So the correct way is to use clean lines right over the pencil marks. If you miss some pencil marks, that's okay. That's the correct way. No more sketching, so no more small lines altogether, because then it creates a sketchy look, and we want it to look more polished, right? So nice and clean lines while tracing. I'm going to trace everything that I drew, and I'm also going to write my name here, and I will be right back. Okay, I finished tracing everything with my Sharpie. Now what I'm going to do is any pencil marks that are left after tracing, I will go ahead and erase those. I will go by each section of my drawing to make sure all the pencil marks are erased so that they're 100% ready for coloring. Alright, before you guys start coloring, I just first wanted to show you how I colored my composition. Hopefully this inspires you and encourages you to come up with your own color combinations. So obviously I chose realistic colors or colors that are the same as the actual cartoon, just so SpongeBob is easily recognizable as soon as you see him. SpongeBob, I obviously kept yellow, and he has his blue eyes right there. I also added a sparkle, so for that, the sparkle on the eye is just a dot, white dot. So you just don't color that dot right on top of the eyeball. I added shading. So again, we talked about shading in the beginning of this lesson. For the pineapple home, I chose the orange, and to create the shadows on the left side, I used a darker value of orange. So a brown would be a darker value of orange. I use the same technique for the leaves. So I use seafoam green, or I like green for all of the leaves, and then on the left side I chose a darker or forest green. One thing I wanted to point out also is for the sponge holes, to make it look like they're actual holes, and to add, to make it look like it's another layer, I use a dark color, okay, for the background. If you want to challenge yourself and do the gradient effect, you can use dark cool colors to light. As always, we will go over our coloring rules. First one is to outline. So I'm going to outline my shape. I'm going to outline that shape inside. And I'm going to color in one direction. Okay. Third is I'm going to color in all the white spots. And voila, that is how you want to color. If you skip one of these steps, you can, but let me show you guys what will happen. So let's say I didn't outline. Okay, I'm not gonna outline. I'm gonna color in one direction, and you know what? It makes it harder for me to really color inside the lines because I didn't outline, okay? Also, if I don't color in one direction, let's say color over here, this direction, this direction, this direction. I don't want my coloring to be messy. I do not want it to look like a scribble or a hairball. If you are using markers like what I'm using here, this is what we use for class. As you can see, there's a tip here, right? Oops. There's a tip here, and then there's the edge. So if you use the tip, that's okay. It'll just take a lot longer to color a specific area. If you use the actual angle here, if you hold your pen marker at an angle, see how much quicker it is to color. And that concludes our lesson of SpongeBob SquarePants. I had a lot of fun preparing this lesson for all my students. I miss you all, and I hope to see you next school year. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants.